We're going to finish Shredderman, Attack of the Tiger today. I'm excited. I know I only read one chapter yesterday, but it's kind of a long one, so we'll finish it today. I'll read two shorter chapters, and I'm excited to read this with you. If you remember where we left off, Nolan's feeling like his parents might be onto him, and he might be getting busted. So chapter 16 is Busted. My mom stood over my bed, with her arms crossed. My dad sat in his desk chair, studying me. They started to say something, but my mom put out a hand and said, "Let me, Stephen." Dad nodded. I coughed. Do you want to know why I called here? Before I could answer, she said, "I called here because Mrs. Holler phoned me at work. She wanted to know why you were absent today." "Mrs. Holler did that when you were absent?" "I had no idea." I said, "Sorry, Mom. I guess I should have called you. But I didn't want you to have to come home. I'm not throwing up or anything." "She said that you haven't been to school all day." I shrugged. Dad leaned in a little and said, "So you came home during morning recess?" I looked from my mom to my dad and back again. Then I said through my nose like I had a monster cold, "I'm sorry, okay? I should have told you." My dad said, "Nolan, look at me." I looked at him, but it was hard. "My question to you, son, is why didn't I see you when I came home at around 11 o'clock? Uh-oh. Where were you at 11 o'clock? My mouth opened and closed like a stupid fish. "No, I don't believe it," my mom cried. "Please don't tell me it isn't you." "Who isn't me?" I choked out. "The Tiger." I sat straight up. "The Tiger? You think I'm the Tiger?" My mom was pacing all over the room, throwing up her hands into the air, crying, "The school called the parents of all the children who were absent today trying to figure out who spray painted Dr. Voss's car." "It wasn't me, Mom. I swear it wasn't me." The phone rang. "Then why can't you tell us where you were at 11 o'clock? Your father stopped by the house, got a soda and a snack, used the bathroom. He says the door was wide open. Did he just not see you? I don't think so. Nolan, you've been acting so strangely lately. Is this why?" No, it's not," I shouted. I guess I forgot to talk through my nose, because all of a sudden her face squeezed together. "You're not sick at all, are you?" She pulled away from me and wailed, "Oh, Nolan." I couldn't believe that she thought I was the Tiger. And maybe superheroes aren't supposed to cry, but this one did. And once I started, I couldn't stop. My breathing got all mixed up, and pretty soon I had the stupid hiccups. We could hear the answering machine pick up, "You've reached Even Stevens. Please leave a message. Beep." Dad perked his ear and said, "Steven? Steven, this is Sarge." Dad got up and whispered, "I'll be right back." Mom sat at the edge of the bed and said, Nolan, please talk to me. You've always been an honest child. Now tell me the truth." I was just burying my head under the pillow. How could they think I was the Tiger? It was bad enough that they thought that I couldn't do anything. But how could they think I was the villain? I was the good guy. I was about to choke to death on hiccups when I heard my dad saying, "Sarge says Shredderman posted a movie clip. He says it exposes the Tiger." "Oh no," my mom wailed. I said, "I'm not the Tiger." Then she sat up and said it louder. "I'm not the Tiger." Dad was already booting up the computer. Mom got up and stood behind him. I just sat there hiccuping. When they saw the clip, my dad's jaw dropped. My mom gasped, "Ryan Voss? And he sprayed his own mother's car?" My dad leaned back and rubbed his chin. "Well, I'll be." They both turned to face me. So, so you're really not the Tager? Mom asked. I scowled at her and hiccuped. Of course not. But then why were, then when, but, but then where were you at 11 o'clock? Why did you leave school? Slowly, my dad's forehead crept back. His jaw eased open. His eyes bulged. He scoured my desk and spotted my yearbook sticking out of my scanner. He yanked it out and saw Dr. Voss's face. You're... He was blinking like crazy at me. You're... He snatched up my digital camera and found the movie clip. Then he looked at my mother and whispered, Eve, our son is a superhero. What? Look. He showed her the clip. He's not the Tager. He's Shredderman. What? She said again, and now she was blinking like crazy. Shredderman, my dad said with a grin. Definitely the coolest superhero to hit this town. My mom covered her mouth. You built that site all by yourself? I nodded. Hick. But how? How did you know how to do all of this? She was in the back of the computer clicking around like mad. This is amazing. Look at this graphic. Honey, I program computers, and I don't know how to do half this stuff. She turned to face me. How did you? I shrugged. It's not hard. Ha! She laughed. Dad scooted way close to me. Nolan, you've got to tell me how you managed to get this clip of Ryan Voss tagging your mother's car. How in the world did you do that? So I told him all about it. Every detail clear through my getaway into the gardener's truck. And while my dad was grinning and bigger, my mom's face was turning whiter and whiter. You jumped out by Route 7, she gasped. Uh-huh. The hiccups were gone. That's miles away. You could have gotten lost or been kidnapped. What if you'd been hit by a car? What if... Superheroes don't get lost or kidnapped. Well, if they do get kidnapped, they always find their way out, right? I'm fine. But you could have suffocated. I had air holes, a snorkel. I'm fine. And don't worry, I took a shower and washed my clothes. She checked me over. In the washer and dryer? No, I rolled in my eyes, in the shower. In the shower? Dad said, he's kidding, Eve. You know, a joke? Yeah, I said. Maybe someday I'll even figure out how to toast waffles. She looked at me, blinking away. Then she threw her arms around and started bawling. My baby. Mom. I rolled my eyes at my dad. He grinned and winked at me. So I hugged her back. The truth is, I was glad they'd found out. Super glad. Chapter 17, Truth and Justice Prevail. Even though I went back to the beginning and told them everything, Mom and Dad still had questions the next morning. I didn't mind answering them, though. It was like we were in a secret club together. I liked it. My dad covered for me with the school. He told Miss Holler that I'd been with him the whole time. The school didn't even seem to care. I guess they were too embarrassed about the town Tager being the principal's son. The story was all over the news. Channel 12 showed Ryan being stuffed into the back of Sarge's car. And the news lady tried to get Dr. Voss to say something, but she just ducked under her arm and ran away. My dad wrote a big piece on it, too. Said he would seem suspicious if he didn't. His headline was Shredderman Saves Cedar Valley. I told him it sounded corny, but he did it anyway. Why not, he said. Not every town can boast its own superhero. But what if people try to find out who Shredderman is? Dad grinned. Didn't I tell you? That's my new assignment. He tissed and shook his head. And I have a hunch he's going to be one tough superhero to unmask. The next day, everyone was talking about what a jerk Ryan Voss was and how it served him right that he was going to have to spend weekends painting walls and cleaning gum off sidewalks. Everyone but Bubba. Bubba kept muttering about what a jerk Shredderman was and how someday he was going to get him. We'll see about that. We also found out that Dr. Voss is going to pay for the new mural on the Green Machine. Mr. Green says it probably won't have dolphins again. That it just wouldn't be the same. He told the class he was thinking about trolls. Trolls? Miriam Wimple asked. Those ugly overgrown elves with sharp teeth and dirty fingernails? Friendly trolls, he told her. In a forest scene with ferns and trees and oversized mushrooms. Or maybe I'll paint the whole van dark blue and have a comet streaking across the sky. Cool, everyone said. So I think maybe he'll go with the comet. Mom and Dad were very interested in hearing about the van. They used to kind of say, whenever I talked about Mr. Green, but now they know who he is. He's the bouncer. They really sit up and listen, especially since the four of us had a powwow about Shredderman and the site, and that we should keep it a secret. Mr. Green said, "We have to keep the lid on it, or I might be looking for a new job." "Why?" I asked him. "They can't fire you for being my sidekick." My dad said, "That's right. You haven't done anything illegal or wrong." Mr. Green shook his head. "Dr. Voss was pretty fired up over the way you exposed your son," he chuckled. "And that little link to her, oh, she was fit to be tied." But I had already took her phone number off the site. Mom made me. "Yeah, but before you did, she got calls from all over. I heard a woman from Australia called to scold her." "From Australia? That's halfway around the world." "Really?" my mom said. "Cool," my dad said. Mr. Green flexed an arm. "Here's to truth." And we all put up our arms and pumped. "And to justice." I went to bed that night feeling great. The Shredderman site counter was up to 10,000. 10,000 visitors. Sure, all I'd really done with the site was collar a bully and trap a tagger. But inside it felt bigger than that. Inside it felt like there was still more to do. Maybe the way I was searching for truth and justice had started out small, but I could feel it growing, spreading from my little bedroom, through my school, and now my town. So maybe I can't fly through the air like Superman, but my ideas can fly across a web bigger than anything even Spider-Man could make, the World Wide Web. So whatever's next, in the name of truth and justice, I'll be there. And so that's the end of the story. Make sure you take your AR quiz on it. I've got the quiz number here, plus the points. You can always just search for it too. Make sure when you search for it, the name of the book is Attack of the Tagger. It isn't Shredderman, it's Attack of the Tagger, because it's part of the Shredderman series. So the name is is Attack of the Tagger. There are 2 more books, and so maybe later when we get back to school or the library opens again, you can take a look at checking out a couple more. There's Meet the Gecko and Enemy Spy. So those are the next 2 in the series. There's 4 of them. So you guys can take a look at that. And that's what I have for you today. So make sure you take a look at the different tips and stuff that I had for you. Suggestions. Take a look at Prodigy. Do some reading today, guys, and answer some of those questions. If you have any questions at all, please contact me. And I hope to see some of you guys today at 10 o'clock for our Google Hangout. So if you have any questions at all, let me know. I hope you guys are doing well, and I can't wait to hear from you. So have a great time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.